Hey, welcome to the Omaha Magazine podcast. It's about all of us, where we highlight Omaha business and community leaders, arts and culture, and where to dine and play. I'm Gil Cohen, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Omaha Magazine. From football to furniture, former UNO standout and defensive back Rod Kush joins us to talk about what it takes to compete in the NFL as a Buffalo Bill and a Houston Oiler, and also going head-to-head against the largest furniture store in America right here in Omaha. Hey, Rod, welcome to Omaha Magazine podcast. It's about all of us. Appreciate your opportunity to bring you on today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. So you've had a kind of a really good career. Obviously, you, as we mentioned, or as we were talking earlier before we started recording here, you went to Burke. And something interesting about Burke is, and for those of you who don't remember Rod the Crusher Kush, played for UNO and then went on to go to the NFL and play for the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Oilers. But something interesting about your graduating class, which was it 78 or 79?
79. You're talking about in college or high school?
High school.
Oh, 75.
75.
I'm old, Gil.
So, yeah, no, you're right. You left UNO in 79. There were weren't there three players, or you and Barney Cotton and
George Andrews
that went on to the NFL?
Yes, the three of us did, yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty rare in a high school.
It is. It is pretty rare, absolutely. Yeah, coming out of Omaha, absolutely.
Yeah. Interesting. So tell us about a little bit about the career at UNO, and we were chatting a little bit earlier when we were.
Well, you know, I had an offer from Nebraska, but it was one of those gray shirt offers where I had to pay to get in, and I had no money. And my parents, they ended up moving down to Plattsmouth and opened up a bar and grill down there. And I said, Mom, I'm not going to Plattsmouth. I got to stay at Burke. I think I have a chance to get a scholarship.
Right.
So I moved into August Moon Apartments by myself. I was 17 years old, and I didn't tell anybody, which is who cares now? But I wanted to stay at Burke. I didn't want to go to Plattsmouth High School, so I stayed at Burke, and I was starting for Burke, and I loved Coach Jacobson. We had a great team. We ended up beating Benson in the state finals. And I thought, well, that's my best chance to get a scholarship because I had no money, and the only way I got to college would maybe a BOG or a scholarship, My parents just didn't have any money. And I was working at J.C. Penney's then and working at Hell's Construction in the summertime. And
just to pay your bills at the apartment and stuff.
Exactly,
right?
And I had a roommate, and stuff like that. But it worked out good. I did get an offer for Nebraska, but I had to pay my way to get in. And then if I made the team, but UNO gave me a full ride, plus extra money for room and board and food. And so I grabbed it. Yeah.
Your AD at that time was?
The AD was Leahy.
Leahy, okay.
Yeah, Leahy, and then Coach Danenauer was the coach.
Okay.
And so I got to start my freshman year. I got to play both ways. I even played at a wide receiver, believe it or not. But I got on a free safety. I'll never forget. The headline came out after I had a really good game. It said, Danenauer finds gold in Kush. And so I ended up starting my freshman year and played all the way through my senior year. And scouts started showing up, and it worked out great. I was fourth guy in the fifth round drafted, and went on to Buffalo, made the team for 6 years, and then went down to Houston and played for 2 years, and then blew my knee out. And at age 30, white guy playing in the secondary, I'm out. Bad knee, I'm out.
So your draft class, I guess during that time, there were some major players outside of yourself that were part of that draft. Leroy Selman, I think, was part of that draft. Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big draft class in itself, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was, I don't know. I was just, all I know was I got a phone call, and my agent told me, he says, well, you're going to get drafted, Rod, probably the second day, because the first day back then was 1 through 6.
Right.
And then it was 7 through 12 the second day. So I went, and my dad was a painting contractor,
Right.
so I went down and worked with my dad. I figured, I'm not getting drafted till the second day. So
Right.
I go to my parents' house, and that's where I was living, because I didn't know where I was going to go. I know
Right.
if I didn't get drafted, I know I was going to be a free agent somewhere. Somebody was going to. There's a
Somebody's
lot
gonna
of
pick you
scouts
up.
looked at me, and I
Right.
thought I ran some good times. And so I'm in the shower, and my mom yells out and goes, Rod, somebody from Buffalo's calling you. And I go, what? Somebody from Buffalo. I know something about football. And I go, Mom, don't hang up. So I run out there with the towel on, and I get on the phone, and this is the Buffalo Bills, blah, blah, blah. You were the 4th guy in the 5th round drafted. So I got drafted in the first day, which I didn't think I was going to. My agent didn't think I was
Pretty
going
incredible,
to.
though, to be.
It was great, especially in a
Yeah.
Division II school and stuff. So I got to thinking, I was going, Buffalo? Where's Buffalo? So I'm looking on the map. We got no phones in
Niagara
that.
Falls, just a little bit south.
Mom, where's the Atlas at? So I look at Buffalo, and I go, wait a minute. O.J. Simpson's there. Cool, I'm going to play with O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, I got there, and O.J. got traded to
He's
San
already
Francisco.
gone. Yeah. He was transferred.
So then we ended up with Ferguson and Joe Cribbs. And, we ended up being the number 1 defense in 1980 and 81 in the National Football League. And we went to the playoffs.
Went to the playoffs in 81.
80,
Correct.
80. We won the AFC East in 80, and then
Right.
went to the playoffs again in 81. So
Interesting.
with Chuck Knox.
With Chuck Knox. That's what the other thing I was going to bring up, that was kind of a unique time for coaches during those years that you played. You played from, 80 to 85?
79 to 87.
79 to 87. So you had Chuck Knox, you had
Jerry Glanville.
Landry, Bum Phillips.
Bum wasn't there. Campbell was there, and then
Okay.
we ended up my second year with Jerry Glanville.
Okay. When did Bum?
Bum left the year I got there.
Okay.
He retired.
So, okay.
Yeah, he
But he was
retired.
coaching during the time.
Oh yeah. Well,
you were playing at
when we
Buffalo.
played, when I was, we went to the Astrodome there in Houston, and I'm sitting out on the thing warming up and getting ready to play him. I was playing for the Bills then,
Right.
And I looked across the deal and I saw Bum Phillips. I go, oh, he's kind of standing out there. And then I saw another guy with a half cut off T-shirt, and I go, he looks deformed. I looked at Charlie Romes, the defensive back I was working out with, getting ready to
Who's that
play.
guy?
I go, who is that guy? And he goes, oh, that's Earl Campbell. And I went, oh my God. He looked like a beast.
Oh, I bet.
Opening play of the game, God's truth, playing strong safety. They run weak side, linebacker whiffs Earl. Opening play, they run 65 yards.
Oh, my gosh.
Me and Charlie are on the opposite side, so we haul butt after him, right? Now, Earl's fast, but he's not that fast, But we caught him about the 10-yard line. Charlie's faster than me, so he jumps on his waist, and I jump on his back, and we bring him down to 10-yard. I got up and looked at Charlie, and I says, this is going to be a long game.
That's pretty exciting being able to play with all those guys and see
Well,
that. It was just an exciting time for football.
Another, God bless his soul, is Walter Payton. What a great man.
Yeah.
First time I tackled him, hit him hard, put him down, and felt pretty good about it. He got up, helped me up off the ground. He says, hey, nice hit.
Nice.
Now, how cool is that?
How cool is that?
I don't think I had anybody that ever did that.
You had several interceptions too as a defensive back.
Yeah, I had Monday Night Football. I had Bob Greasy.
Yeah. How was that, intercepting a greasy pass?
It was
fun.
pretty cool Monday night. I don't know. It just happened so fast. John Elway in Mile High Stadium was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And a few others I can't remember them all.
Yeah.
I had a lot of sacks, I played a lot of nickel, so I had a lot of sacks.
That's
Joe
kind of
Theismann, I
important
got
for
him
your
3
position.
times in one game.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and 2 of them he fumbled. So that was a fun game.
That's kind of an important thing in your position. Get those sacks as an
Oh, absolutely.
back.
Yeah. I played a lot of nickelback back then.
Yeah. So was it? How did you coach going from Danenauer and then Sandy Buddha in terms of college coaching to pro coaching? How was that? Was it an easy transition? Is it about the same?
I think as for a secondary guy, I don't know about offensive or the linemen and all that. All I can tell you is this. I think in college they teach you to hit, and the easiest way to put it is in the pros they teach you how to hit.
Okay.
So they teach you to hit in college, but in the pros they teach you how to hit. what's the most effective way, keeping your head on the right or left side of the body, how to turn a play back inside to the linebackers, being a strong safety and free safety and stuff like that. How to use the end zone and also use the out of bounds to your advantage, And so it was much more mental going to the NFL. Everybody could have been All-American there. Yeah. Everybody ran 4.5, 4.6. Yeah. Everybody could jump 32 inches, and everybody could tackle. I'm not going to say everybody could tackle. Some of our corners can't tackle. But that's why they had us, you know. And that's one of the reasons I made the team. I wasn't the fastest guy. I couldn't jump higher than most people. Yeah. And I saw a lot of recruits coming over those 8 years trying to beat me out. And I'm going, man, he's faster than me, can jump higher than me. Oh, my goodness. But I could tackle. Yeah. I could hit you.
Yeah, you knew where to hit. And
absolutely. I put my face mask. They didn't have to teach me not to duck my head. Yeah. I put my face mask on, looked where they're going, and planted my face mask. And you're not going to get hurt. No. You're not going to get hurt when you do that. Yeah. But when you duck your head, like a lot of the players do, especially on the corners, you're going to get hurt. Yeah. And you're going to hurt somebody else too.
And then, I had a conversation with Chris Dishman several years ago about the going from college to pro sports, and basically he looked at me and says, "Gil, pro sports is a job," and that was his difference between playing college and the fact that now you got to wake up, you got to go to work.
Every morning you had to get up. You had to go in, you got to watch films, and you watch films, and you watch films, and you watch films. Yeah. And then you go to lunch, then you come back in, and then you do a little special teams films and stuff like that. And then you go out and practice for 2 hours. Yeah. And we don't hit anybody or anything like that. We run a little bit, but it's a long season. It was 16 games with 4 preseason games. Yeah. That's two college years. Yeah. 2 seasons, 2 college seasons in 1 season. Yeah. So your body's beat up. Yeah. And then we're on that old AstroTurf on top of it.
That didn't didn't have a lot of give to it, did it?
No. You wonder why I got 2 fake knees.
So let's move ahead a little bit. So you were with the Oilers, blew out your knee, said, "I'm done." And came back to Omaha?
Came back to Omaha. The funny thing is, everybody wants to know, how'd you get in the furniture business?
That was my question. How'd you go from football to furniture? And especially starting a furniture store in a town where we already had
Nebraska Furniture Mart,
largest furniture store in the nation.
Which turned out to be the
owned by Warren Buffett.
Which turned out to be the best thing I could have done. Yeah. Because there's no other furniture stores. Right. It's just me and him. Yeah. But no,
How did you get in that?
I was living next door to a guy that owned what was called back in 1987, 88, they called it furniture on consignment. Okay. So the consignment stores were getting going, the clothing consignment, and he started the furniture on consignment. So I went down to his place and we fished together. And I was looking at what he was doing. He's buying all this furniture at garage sales and putting on ads. I'll buy your furniture, I'll consign your furniture, whatever, right. And then he resold it, So I'm out on the boat for 10 hours bass fishing with him, and I started picking his brain. And by the way, I have a bachelor's of science in criminal justice. I was going to go to law school, be a prosecutor and solve all the world's problems. Yeah. But I wasn't going back to school after being out 8 years. Yeah. So I came back, I said, I'm going to try that. So I got one of his contract, took it back to Omaha, and I got a space, matter of fact, right down the street from you here on 88th and L, a warehouse about 9,000 feet. I went out to garage sales and I started picking up furniture and leaving flyers saying, if you don't sell this, I'll consign it, pick it up at no charge. Yeah. And when I sell it, I'll pay you.
Give them some
commission. It was crazy. So I went to the Thrifty Nickel to advertise because that's all I kind of wanted to do.
Back then, yeah.
And sure enough, people were coming to I called it the world's largest used furniture store, Omaha's largest used furniture store. But I was selling it quicker than I can get it. So every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, I'd go out to garage sales and pick up furniture, and I'd bring it in. So one day, furniture rep came in, and he goes, "Hey, we're having a furniture show down in Kansas City. Do you want to come?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll check it out." It was new furniture. Right. So I went down there. I ended up buying, they gave 50% off on all the floor models. So I bought all the floor models. I brought 9 truckloads, U-Hauls back of new furniture. I sold all that within 2 weeks.
Jeez.
And then the reps started showing up. And they go, you want 20 chest of drawers?
Here.
You know what I mean? The number one seller in used furniture is chest of drawers. So he goes, I'll sell you 20 chest of drawers, and you can have them next week. And I'm going, really? You mean I could just order that and they come here? I don't have to go to a garage sale and hunt it down to resell it? And sure
Load
enough,
it in the truck?
that's how I got in new furniture. Then the reps started showing up. And the funny thing, I couldn't get a lot of furniture because the Mart had it all bought up.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, isn't that a
Had deals
restraint
with so many
isn't
different...
that restraint of trade, you know? But they would just say, well, we don't like who you're selling, you know, that type of thing. So it was kind of one of those things where it was really hard to get furniture people to sell me. But then I moved from there to 94th and J, and then I finally bought the place down, the old Skagway on 72nd L. And to this day, that's 35 years later, here we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, the Mart tried to buy me.
Oh, did they? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they tried, but oh, I got to go out to dinner at Warren. I got to go out with all the Blumpkin guys and Louis, which was a great guy, you know. And but they didn't want me to go to Lincoln.
Oh.
And so had contract in hand, and they sent me flowers. Welcome to the Blumpkin family. And I got cold feet. I went in Monday morning, and I says, Irv, I'm going to talk to you. I went to his office, and I says, I'm going to turn you down. I said, I'm going to Lincoln.
Wow.
And I just couldn't work for anybody else.
Yeah, I can get that. You started the company, and you know, you built the company, and then to kind of turn it over and just sit back and let somebody else run it for you.
They wanted my store to be Mrs. B's. Oh. I was going to take all the ones that got sent back, or all the closeouts and all that, and be Mrs. B's down there on 72nd L. I had a great location, and I just didn't want to do that at that point. After I thought about it, you know, so they called up. Warren. He was in Buffalo, believe it or not. He owns the Buffalo News, and they got him on speakerphone, and he was trying to talk me into staying, you know. And he did one major mistake. He called my place a Quonset hut. Oh. And I says, you know, Mr. Blumpkin, I appreciate it and all the things we've done and all that stuff. I appreciate the offer, but I said, I'm going to keep my Quonset hut, and I'm going to move it down to Lincoln. Yeah. So I went down to Lincoln, and 35 years later,
you did okay.
Yeah, and it turned out actually like a lot of reps go, why would you open a furniture store in Omaha with Nebraska Furniture Mart? And I said, they kept all the competition out of town. You go to any other city, you've got 12, 13. I live in Vegas now. There must be 20 furniture stores. The Mart kept everybody out of town. So it was just me and the Mart.
And there's a demographic probably back then there was a significant demographic for everybody.
Oh yeah, there was enough for everybody. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm surprised another furniture store didn't come in, but they were all scared of the Mart. You know? And it was hard getting lines to sell you.
Yeah, you needed.
You know what I mean?
Inventory.
Because they said, "Well, we're selling the Mart. I don't want to muddy the waters." And I understood that. Yeah. And they were great people, and you know, I enjoyed my time with them. You know, the couple weeks that we talked and went out to dinner and all that stuff. They were really good people, very smart people. Good people, but there's room for another furniture store.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great
and it turned
great
out
story.
Really
how many other businesses can say they were up against a Berkshire Hathaway company?
Yeah, I know.
After it did well.
Here's the funny thing is, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I played in the National Football League.
Yeah.
I played the best in the world. And I guess as far as I'm concerned, Warren Buffett and Nebraska Furniture Mart was probably one of the best in the world. Yeah. And it didn't bother me. Yeah, it was just another, hey, woke up, went to films, went to practice, same with furniture. Went in, set furniture, went to all the markets, bought what I thought we can sell, and it worked out. And now my boys have been running it for about 6 years now.
And the name's changed, though. It's 7 Day.
We changed it 7 Day Furniture. The boys have been, I think they've been there almost 6 years now.
Okay.
And I've been retired for 4. Yeah. But the best thing I ever did, I think, was the smartest thing, and I'm going to tell everybody that owns a business. When you turn it over to your family, make sure that your family, your boys or your girls, go out and get their own job. Yeah. And do it on their own and make it on their own. And they did. They did very well. Yeah. They were salespeople and they were on the road, but they came back and said, Dad, we've been doing this and you're getting up there. We want to get off the road.
Because you want to see a different perspective of things. You want them to get there.
Everybody should go out and make it on their own.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to furniture guys that have given it to their sons and they go broke. Yeah. But they went out, they made it on their own, and then they came back and said, Dad, we want to be in the furniture. We want to get off the road. And they did a great job. And in 2 years, they looked at me, well, it was 4 years ago. I see it now. And they says, Dad, we're done. You're done, right? I mean, we got this. I go, you do have this. And I knew it. I knew it before they told me.
That's
and I
great.
said, I'm standing in the way. So since then, they built a beautiful store down in Lincoln. And we moved from a different location to right off the interstate there. It's a beautiful store. And they've taken this store and built on warehouses and things like that. And they've done great. And they've upped they're doing a lot more millions than I did.
Yeah.
But very proud of them. Very proud of them.
Don't you think that having the opportunity to go out and do something on their own, show them, maybe gave them some ideas of how to do other things right, or other mistakes not to make, and say, okay, hey, we have something in common. We might have made the same mistake, but I like what they're doing over here. You wouldn't have seen that coming up through the ranks.
I think you're absolutely right. I think they got a different perspective than what I had. I was tunnel visioned. When I got out of football, I had some apartment complexes and duplexes that I bought, and that was good for me. That's what I invested my money in.
Right.
But then when I got out, I had to do something.
Yeah.
So I started this furniture on consignment. And so I wasn't a salesperson, I was in retail, but I was an entrepreneur, and I made it work.
Yeah.
So they went out and they were salespeople, and they had business degrees. I didn't have a business degree. I had a criminal justice degree, So they came in with a different perspective, and I think that's why they took it over and grew it and made it better than it was. And they had that insight. And I think they got a little entrepreneurship from myself. You know what I mean?
Cool.
So my wife's a teacher. So
nice. Well,
they got their smarts from her. I guarantee you that.
So we were talking briefly before we started recording about totally change the subject again here. The influence of recruiting for college football now, or really any college sports, with the onset of NIL money, and how difficult it could be to bring kids from South Florida or Texas or Alabama, Mississippi to, 0 below temperature in Nebraska.
That's the big thing that I'm looking from the outside in now.
Right.
I live in Las Vegas. I come here for 5 months, and then I'm in Vegas in 7 months. And, I got the perspective of warm weather. I played 6 years in Buffalo, and then I went down to Houston, which was worse than Buffalo, only because of the humidity.
Yeah,
unbelievable. I mean, you took a shower, you went out to your car to go back to your apartment, and
you're already sweating.
You need to take a shower again. Yeah. So I had kind of both of this perspective. But in Nebraska, you got 4 seasons, and the worst part of it is one of the seasons of football is in the winter. Yeah. And if I'm living in Alabama or Tennessee or Mississippi or California, what makes me bring me to Nebraska? Back in the day, it was Bob Devaney, it was Tom Osborne. Yeah. Now we've got
or a good education, great education.
Yeah, all the universities give a good education too. I mean, they all offer that. Yeah. But when they really look down to it now, why are they coming? Yeah. Now it's money. It's the moolah. That's the only way Nebraska's. And, the NFL took care of that. I mentioned, by salary cap. Well, NIL doesn't have a salary cap. So whoever's got the most money is going to win. I mean, come on. I mean, the USC has a lot of money. Yeah. Alabama has a lot of money. Georgia has a lot of money. Does Nebraska have a lot of money? I mean, they
compared
better.
To those schools.
They better. They're not going to win. And Rule, I think he's a good coach. He did well. Yeah. But you got to have the players.
Yeah.
You have to have the players. Yeah. And to have the players today, you have to have the money. Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
What do you think the future of college sports is going to be with NIL? Is it just going to be?
I have no clue, because whoever got the most money is going to win. Yeah. It's kind of like in the real world. I mean, Elon Musk, he has a lot of money. He wins. Yeah. Warren Buffett, he has a lot of money. He wins. Does Nebraska have a lot of money? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they have in their coffers, but
they're having problems trying to fund the new edition, I think now. Yeah. I mean, it's a quandary. I mean, if I was a player, would I come to Nebraska knowing the humidity, and then it goes right from the humidity into the cold weather? And you got that cold, windy stadium down there? Yeah. Man, I don't know. I might look someplace else.
I think it's tough to build a winning program without having all those things in place.
I think players look at that now. They all got phones. They all can look and see what the weather's going to be. They can see what they're going through. And another thing we need to do in Nebraska, we got to get in a bowl game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to recruit, you got to.
It's been, 9 years?
20
years.
Nobody knows about Nebraska's national championships. We have to get in a bowl. We must get in a bowl game if we're going to recruit. Yeah. Nobody even knows who Nebraska is.
Yeah, it's been tough for the last several years.
It is. And every year it's going to get worse. Yeah. Every year. So.
Well, we got a good volleyball team. We got a great
basketball team. Yeah.
So, there's something to be said for, it's not just the football team.
Well, it used to be just football.
Yeah, but you're right.
To me, it's just football.
Of course it should be. So just one last comment before we wrap up here. The reason Rod's on today is one of the reasons I ran into him a couple of weeks or so ago at the Omaha Sports Commission, and he was inducted to the Omaha Sports Commission Hall of Fame.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yeah.
What a nice honor. Yeah, it was really good. It was a kind of out of the blue. I was living in Vegas. I got a phone call, and can you make it? And I said, well, I usually don't come back to the first week of June, but I think I can make that.
So that was nice. That was a nice honor. Gave me an opportunity to meet you. I think we had met several years ago, but you probably wouldn't remember who I was. But I thought this would be a nice opportunity to bring you on and chat a little bit about football and how to go from football to furniture. Yeah,
I tell you, there's a lot of players that get in football. I mean, if Antonio Brown gets $130 million and goes broke, you better do something with your money.
Yeah,
So I'm going to tell everybody that
you must have had some good advice from somewhere along the line with. Or did you?
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad. He was a painter. He had his own business. My mom owned some beauty salons. Yeah. I saw them work from sun up to sundown, and I knew what hard work was like. Yeah. We went to church on Sundays, and after church, guess where we went? The beauty salons. We went and cleaned, or we went and sanded doors down for my dad from once he was painting. Yeah. So labor was. Not a big deal for me. I grew up with it. Yeah. I didn't mind that. I didn't mind hard work.
It's a great. We've talked to several people about having mentors, and it sounds like your parents were great.
Oh yeah, they were hard workers, blue collar, and I had great parents. My mom's still alive. I brought her to the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
she loved it. Oh, she's 88 years old. She had a stroke, so she can understand. She can't talk real good, but I can see in her eyes she was very proud of you. Yeah. So I took her down to Vegas this last year, and she's 88 years old, never been in a swimming pool.
Oh wow.
She can't swim. We got her in the swimming pool.
Oh wow.
Pretty cool.
That's cool.
I sent up pictures to my brothers and sisters, and they go, "How'd you do that?" I says, "I literally almost pushed her in, but I got her in. I coaxed her in, and once she got in, she didn't want to get out."
Yeah.
I said, "Mom, you got to get out. You're going to get sunburned." So that was really cool.
So. Well, cool, Rod. Hey, thanks for being on our podcast this morning or afternoon, whenever it's gonna. Yeah. Whenever it's gonna air. We never know. I don't know what the air schedule is going to be, but right now it's morning in Omaha. So appreciate you coming on today and chatting quite a bit about your career with football. It's an impressive career. It's not an easy sport to play pro football. Not an easy to play college football either. But going to pro is quite an accomplishment.
I feel very lucky and blessed. There's no doubt about that. So, but I did work for it.
And you did UNO proud too. So,
yes, I did.
So, well, cool. Right. Well, thanks. Thanks again for joining us today. Check out the links in the show notes to keep up with the latest and greatest from Omaha Magazine. See you on the next episode.